Hey guys, welcome ladies and gentlemen. This is You, Me, and BTC, your Bitcoin and Liberty podcast. This is Tim Baker. I'm here with you guys tonight, or today. I'm actually recording this on Sunday night, February 4th at about 9 o'clock p.m. So the Super Bowl is going on. The Patriots are going to win because that's how it always happens, and it's all rigged and everything, and the fucking NFL just always has them win. So that's probably what's going to happen, and you can take this prediction now as a full thing. The Patriots have won the Super Bowl again. Tom Brady has gotten another Super Bowl ring, and now he will just continue kissing his sons. Because I've seen those pictures recently. It is kind of weird. I guess the entire family does it. It's one of those families where instead of just kissing each other on the cheek like normal people, the Bradys apparently full on make out with each other whenever they're saying goodbye, even between like the kids and the parents. Not really, but they're not actually molesting their children, but it looks like it. Anyway, this is episode 225, if I'm correct. I think I just looked it up on my phone. I'm at a place right now where I don't have Wi-Fi yet. It's episode 225. But yeah, I have a place where I don't have Wi-Fi, so I can't really be looking anything up during this episode, which may harm me, may hurt me, may help me pay attention too, so who knows. But we'll see. First off, before I get into the episode, I just want to do, we're continuing these guys. These are why we're able to bring you the multiple episodes a week now, and that is America's Card Room. They are we've said them a bunch on this on the podcast before. Daniel loves them. If you're into playing poker, that's the place to go. You can deposit with either Bitcoin or any number of 60 different cryptocurrencies. You can withdraw. But the biggest thing we have from them, and the reason why most of you guys are going to be wanting to use them, is they have an offer code where they will double your first deposit up to $1,000. So you put in 500, you get 1,000. You put in whatever, but that is BTC 100, and that's BTC 100. So yeah, check them out if you like them. Check them out if you like poker. If you like spending some of the money that you made. If you like, if you just haven't played poker before, it's a nice way to get involved with it. It's a nice way so that you're not like, oh, I'm sitting in a casino now and now I'm stuck. You can throw in $5 if you want, play a couple small games just in your underwear, sitting at your house, at a cafe, whatever. You can play it there, and it's a cool way to get into poker if you haven't before, or if you just want to keep on playing. But this week I've been trying to, because of how useless I am sometimes as far as the tech side of Bitcoin is, I've been trying to talk more about the philosophy of it, I guess, which sounds super douchey, but I wanted to talk this week about kind of this cycle, and it is the price too. It has something to do with the price, because the price kind of initiates this cycle, but also it just has to do with the people who are involved, the people who get involved, the people who say things, whether that's the media, buyers, sellers, the government, and I guess I wanted to talk about it and see maybe where I go with it, but to look at how this almost, like the cycle with Bitcoin, what I'm talking about, to me has almost gotten laughable at this point, where, and sometimes I feel kind of, I don't want to say this to other people, and I don't want to tell other people this, because I don't want to be like, oh no, Bitcoin is going to be, don't worry, just buy it all now, it'll be $20,000 in a year, because I don't like making predictions. I don't like people making decisions like that based off of me, and I don't want the people afterwards being like, why the fuck did you tell me to put all this money in? Why I'm broke now? What did you do to me? So I try to stay away from it. But in my opinion, and I think we've mentioned this on the show before, I generally tend to think that Bitcoin over the long term will just kind of continue to go up. There's a finite amount of them that are going to be mined. There's 21 million Bitcoins that will eventually be mined, and at some point all of them will be mined, and then there is that bit of besides the technology of Bitcoin, there is that bit of there's a finite amount, and I understand that this is the same thing with alt currencies as well. But because Bitcoin has the whole history behind it, has the momentum behind it, there is something to be said that the top, like, millionaires will just want to have a Bitcoin, or people just want to have a Bitcoin. And also at that point, if you have one of said Bitcoins, you have a 21 millionth of the entirety of the market, the entirety of the Bitcoin economy. You are bought in that far. So I think that will be part of it, be part of why it will be worth something, and why the price will continue to go up, because of how it's just there's a tangible want for something like this, and there is a want for Bitcoin, or just any kind of an alternative to the current monetary and economic systems most people find themselves in these days. I'm not necessarily saying that Bitcoin will be the end-all, be-all replacement of all economic things. I think most likely it'll probably be a different cryptocurrency. But because of the history and because of the magnitude of what Bitcoin did and how it changed things as far as a decentralized, non-state-backed currency, it showed that we could, instead of like the Liberty Dollar guy, that the government can't fuck with this. It can't just come in and raid a warehouse and confiscate all the Bitcoins. It can't, it's, unless you have complete control on the internet, it's very, very hard to limit Bitcoin activity and just in general. But the whole idea of cryptocurrencies now are out of the box. It's open, it's out there, and people are going to keep on building on top of that. But I think that Bitcoin, because, like I said, because of its position now and how it's kind of like the beginning of something new, that Bitcoin will still stick around, and that people will want to have it, if nothing else, just for that. My other argument if people were going to push me for why it would continue to go up, is just that it has. And I know that is not the best idea. Just because something has happened in the past doesn't mean it will continue to. Just because, I mean, we make this argument all the time. Just because the government, many different governments across the world, have continued to operate while in a severe amount of debt. The U.S. is trillions of debt, and it's continued, and that's what most people will say if you ever say something like, well, I mean, that eventually has to break. Eventually the debt has to come and get called on them. And most people would say, well, it hasn't happened before. China just wants to keep on buying things. China needs us to buy their things, so they'll keep on buying our debt from us. But yeah, okay, it's kept on happening, but it's at some point, unless the world ends, you can't keep on doing that. At least it's not ever considered a good idea to continue just putting off debt like that. But then by that same token, I understand that, yes, I'm saying the same thing when I say that Bitcoin will continue to go up. Besides that, like I was talking before with these cycles, Bitcoin has seemed to, I've been since like it was $20, and it jumps up in price because, I mean, there are points of steady increase, but those are less frequent. A lot of the times when the price goes up, especially in a significant amount, it jumps up by very large leaps because people are buying it up. Part of that is, besides regular crypto traders or people who are HODLing Bitcoin, it's just people gambling, random people that heard about Bitcoin from somebody at work, somebody at the bar, and they're like, oh, hey, I'll throw $300. Oh, it's going up. I'll throw some money into this and try to jump on. So whenever it's going up, jumps up by huge amounts, jumps up, sticks around there, and then I'm going to try to keep this all straight in my head while I go through this so that it all makes sense. But at this point, normally, You have everybody on Reddit, everybody on the Bitcoin Reddit, everybody on Twitter is like, woo, we're rich, we got a fuck ton of Bitcoin, fuck yeah, fuck the government, everyone said Bitcoin was dead, aren't you guys stupid? Let's make memes of Goku and going past 5,000, and then all this, let's have the Bitcoin guy in the roller coaster, let's just show him in a picture going straight up and holding on and throwing his hands to the side and being all scared. And it's this big celebration. Normally, the mainstream media comes out with something about how Bitcoin's a bubble, it's jumping up in price. They try to explain it away as this can't be sustainable and blah, 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 blah. Other people start going, oh, wait, this is cool. Bitcoin. How much Bitcoin do you have? Wow, you should sell it now. It's really, really high. Then the price drops as people start to get antsy. I'm not exactly sure why. I would say it's probably from people who are more in it for a monetary gain. They sell it off, or just people who are holding it and go, oh, it's 19,000. I might as well sell now and then buy it whenever it's lower because it's probably going to drop, which is honestly the most intelligent idea, because if you can figure out when, like even the most hardcore hodler, if you somehow were able to pinpoint the exact time when Bitcoin was going to drop from 19,000 and then start on its path all the way down to around 8, which is where it's at now, you would be able to make a lot of money, and that would be your best bet. But anyway, the price then plummets, falls down, normally by a couple steps. It doesn't drop all the way to the bottom. It kind of starts a little bit slower, then drops, then holds for a little bit, then drops again as people try to guess when it's going to start going up, try to sell it at the highest they can, buy it at the lowest they can, all that stuff. Then at this point, Reddit is flooded with people going, oh, hodl, 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 don't worry, hold, just keep your Bitcoin, don't worry. And then a bunch of extra stories about how people are losing all their money and they have to get out and this isn't working, and how they lost all their family's money. And then the media is talking about how Bitcoin it's plummeting. See, we told you this would happen. It would all fall apart and it's all just going to be gone. You guys are all stupid. Bitcoin's worth nothing. It can't come back. Disregarding the fact that it has still gained a significant amount from where it started whenever it first jumped up in money, like at the beginning of this cycle. It's still above that. It has just dropped a significant amount from the heights that it achieved, but they still say that this means that now Bitcoin's dead, it's gone, everything's falling apart. And then as the Bitcoin continues to keep on falling, lose a little bit here, a little bit there, Reddit starts to get mopey. People start to be like, wow, like it's still HODL, but HODL with a little bit more pain in the typing from people, and going, this is really bad, isn't it? Still, again, forgetting how much it has gone up compared to what it was. And then again, the media kind of lets off from it for a little bit. It doesn't give it too much attention because, I mean, legitimately, I understand that. I understand that Bitcoin isn't really interesting unless it is doing something to the average person, unless it's jumping from 3,000 to like 17,000. There's no reason for them to put it on there. No one at Fox or CNN cares about, oh, what can blockchain do for our ability to make smart contracts so that we can take more, we can have less government interference in our lives and still have a protection against fraud or something like that, or anything. And basically the Bitcoin kind of it stabilizes a little bit down at a lower level. Everyone gets kind of mopey about it. It's not brought up in the news too much, and then everyone around you, the people who don't have Bitcoin, go, yep, you should have sold. Or how much did you have, and blah, or when are you going to sell? This is so dumb, and all this stuff.
Get ready for Crypto Overload. We're making it easy to get into the game at America's Card Room with your favorite cryptocurrency. We are thrilled to announce that you can deposit and cash out using more than 60 different cryptocurrencies. We are the first poker site to offer this after already accepting Bitcoin from the beginning. Cryptocurrencies are the future. We can predict that playing real money poker will never be easier at americascardroom.com.
I think I explained the whole cycle thing. I think I got everything I wanted to into that. But I'm mostly right now commenting on how similar that cycle seems. Because I say it, and I thought maybe as I said it during this podcast that I would realize that this isn't how it normally happens, that there's much more nuance to it, and it's completely different each time, but it's not. It doesn't seem to be, at least. I mean, you guys can correct me. Again, tweet us, YMB. On Twitter, I'm BakersDozen93. You can tweet me, tell me if you like the episode or not. Tell me if you think I'm stupid or not. But it seems like there's legit this cycle almost every single goddamn time that Bitcoin goes up, and then everyone just forgets that this is exactly what happened the last time. I haven't looked at it too much, and I don't think that there's necessarily like a time period. It's not like every 2 years, obviously it's not that. But whenever it does happen, it's weird how similar the reactions from everybody is, and it's weird how easily we just fall into the same song and dance every single time. I don't think that's just for Bitcoin, but I'm noticing it more with this just because I pay more closer attention to Bitcoin than the average person. So when to them it just, oh, this is new, Bitcoin jumped up. I'm like, this is exactly what happened when it went to 1,000. Like almost exactly what happened before is what happens now. And it got the same kind of media attention. I remember it being in the news a bunch when it first went to 1,000, and then it dropped. And then all the same stuff that's happening now happened, and then it took a while, and then it went back up. So it's weird. I don't see why. To me, I don't understand why more people aren't buying Bitcoin yet. I get that it's still seen as so much of an outsider, so I do understand that. I do understand that my idea of what is a risk is much different than most people. I would feel safer with my money in Bitcoin than sitting in a bank account. I'd feel safer with Bitcoin than my money in a home. If I had enough money to buy a home, I'd feel safer if it was in Bitcoin. But just the average person, I don't quite understand right now why they aren't at least just buying some Bitcoin, just if nothing else, just to diversify it, because everyone seems to forget, and everyone does this thing where they don't have Bitcoin, they don't have it, and then, oh, wait, it went up by 500% or some stupid number. Oh, okay, well, now I'll buy it, which is not, like, Bitcoin wasn't going to just keep on going and going and going. It wasn't going to get to 40,000 this time. It hasn't done. There's not enough of an economy behind it. If all of a sudden we had all the money that the international monetary fund had or something like that, that could happen, because it could have all this money just keep on going. But at some point, with something as small as Bitcoin, it does stop because the momentum peters out more quickly. So it's not going to just go from 1,000 to 50. And I can say that now, obviously, because it didn't. But I think that there is a very clear pattern for what Bitcoin has done. I think that because of how it has introduced a new technology, I think that it will continue to jump up like that. I didn't live through the .com bubble, but a lot of people compare it to that. But I don't remember the .com bubble, and I don't again, I haven't heard of this. Maybe I'm wrong. Please, again, tweet me if I am. I don't remember the .com bubble coming in waves like that. Like, it wasn't like the websites and all this stuff just hit the market and it went crazy and then it died and then it came back and then it died again. I don't think so. Maybe, but Bitcoin seems to be something different from that. Bitcoin seems to be something that is slowly earning credence among even official people, but among other people, and showing that something like this is valuable to people, is worth something to even people in the United States, but especially someplace like Venezuela or any country where their economy is so fucked that they're in just super inflation, where you might not be able to spend your money in Bitcoin because the transaction fees might be too high, but at least you're going to have that money in a couple months. It's not going to lose your money like the Venezuelan currency. Is it the dollar? Is it Venezuelan dollar? Something like that. I don't know. Most likely not. But a lot of people are liking it. A lot of people have seen it. And I think, the next time there's it jumps up, it's going to jump up. And I would imagine, and from the way it's happened before, I think it's just going to happen in this same cycle that I described. So I guess this episode is about an excuse for hodling, an excuse for buying more, and kind of an explanation for why I think it's a good idea to have Bitcoin. Again, don't buy any Bitcoin because of my advisory. Just send me money, donate money to my show. And don't buy it because I don't want you to get mad at me whenever you lose money. Just lose it and send it automatically to me. But I hope it was at least a little bit entertaining. Maybe look at it for yourself. Look at and try to remember what happened, what you were doing, what people said to you, what you heard during the last spike and then the last drop. Because I think it's a little bit more similar than we're giving it credit for, and I'm interested for what happens next time. But anyway, again, tweet us, and we're YMB, YouMeAndBTC.com. We do a live show every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. You can tune in there. You can chat with us there, chat live. We do it on Google Hangouts. But you just come hang out with us. But yeah, check us out. Follow me on Twitter, BakersDozen93. Follow YMB. And tweet us. Tell us how you like the episode. And thanks, guys. Love you. Bye.